Hey guys, welcome to Technobabble. I'm JP, and this is my review of the Prism X340 Pro. So they have an older variant of it, the X340 now, which they call the Classic, but this one specifically is the Pro version. So we're looking at a QHD monitor. By QHD, it's not your usual 2160 by 1440. Because of the aspect ratio, which is, by the way, a 21.9 aspect ratio, we're looking at more about 3440 by 1440, which is still considered QHD, just that with a wider aspect ratio. Now, it's not just an ultra-wide screen, it's also an ultra-wide curved screen, okay? And it really helps with, or really blends into this whole immersive kind of experience. Now, let's talk about unboxing. Now, I'm not gonna do like a full unboxing thing, I'm just gonna speak like very quickly about it because it's really simple. The box as well is, as usual, like the older, like the other F270i Pro. It's a very minimalistic design, which I personally like. Setting it up is really easy. You've got your stand in two pieces, so just screw them in. And by the way, this monitor has something that not a lot of the other monitors have, which is backlit illumination. Now, usually, like, I don't know if anybody really cares about that, but it's a nice touch. So the back where the stand connects, there's actually like a blue light around it, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Now let's talk a bit about the panel. So this specifically is a VA panel. Now, like I mentioned in my other video on the F270i Pro, there are basically three types of gaming panels. You have the TN, VA, and IPS. And the F270i Pro was actually an IPS panel, which is my personal favorite. This one is actually a VA panel, okay? So what are the differences? Well, the main thing that you can basically take out of it is that VAs tend to have a lower refresh rate than some of the other gaming monitors. So the panel that really has the highest would be your TN panels. They can go up to like 240 Hertz. And TN panels also have really good response times. VA panels, not so much. This one specifically is a 100 Hertz panel, and response time is actually 6 milliseconds, although they have an overdrive function which actually brings it down to 4 milliseconds, which is different from your TN panel. Now, another thing to mention, that's more of the negative side of it. Now, the positive side of it is one thing, it's got much better viewing angles than TN panels. TN panels a slight shift and the color goes off. And speaking of color, VA panels have much better color production than TN panels. So this is not just specifically for gaming in a way. If you're one of those like people who really like immersive experiences with AAA titles, or you watch a lot of movies, this is where a VA panel really shines because it's got really good contrast ratios, it's got really good color reproduction. Now, just one thing to note, color reproduction and color accuracy can be quite different. So it produces colors very nicely, and watching some shows on it or videos with the same aspect ratio looks absolutely amazing. I really like it. However, if you are a content producer or you do color accurate work, VA panels aren't really known for color accuracy. It produces colors nice, but they aren't exactly accurate all the time. Which is why a lot of people who do color sensitive work tend to go for IPS panels. However, having said that, I spent some time with this monitor, and actually some of the work that I've done on Premiere Pro, I specifically and purposely use this monitor to see how it would fare. And to be fair, I'm not like a professional. I'm not a professional video editor or designer or anything like that. I just do YouTube videos. But for someone like me, I thought it was perfectly fine for video editing and all that. It was really nice. And the best thing about it, with this kind of wide real estate on your screen, your timeline in Premiere Pro, if you're familiar with Premiere Pro or Final Cut or any editing software that has a timeline that you can edit, having something of this size is amazing. I didn't really realize how beneficial it could be to have one screen that's really wide. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I actually have two monitors, two 27-inch monitors side by side, and I do my editing on one screen, and I'll can like have other windows up on the other screen. But having one monitor this wide doing video editing is really a dream, and I didn't realize how much I would enjoy it, to be honest. Now let's talk about playing games. playing games as well was really good. Although, it depends on the game. There are some games like I tried Shadow the Tomb Raider, I tried Battlefield 5, now it looked incredible. They support this kind of 21:9 aspect ratio, and you could really see like so much more on the side, and it was really immersive. I was actually very impressed. Now, another game that I play a lot is Dota 2. And if any of you played it, you know that playing it on this aspect ratio, maybe not the best, and I'll tell you why. These kind of games, when you play like Dota 2 or maybe League of Legends or something like that, where in this aspect ratio, you don't actually see more of the map, you get more of a, what I would call an anamorphic kind of effect, where the sides are a bit stretched to fill up the entire screen, but you don't see more of the map than, let's say, someone else who's got a normal 16:9 aspect ratio monitor. So not really beneficial there in terms of playing the game. However, it did look really nice. And what else is there? Oh yes, the HDR content. So this actually supports HDR10, and it might not be entirely accurate, but I would consider this the so-called base or introductory standard towards HDR. You don't get the full HDR experience, because don't forget, this monitor has a peak brightness of about 300 nits, which is not the brightest, and it's not, in some ways, not really good enough for full HDR. But it's a good introduction to give you an idea of how HDR can actually be beneficial to your viewing or even your gaming experiences. There are some games that support HDR. It is not VESA HDR compatible, just to let you guys know, but like I said, HDR10 still pretty good. Now, this monitor, I realized the last time I did my monitor, there were certain details that I missed out that I'm going to try and include in this one. So the first thing is, yes, it is VESA mount compatible. There are 4 spacers that are included in the packaging for the monitor, and these spacers are actually really important if you want to mount it to a wall. Okay, so from the spacer, it connects to your mount. So that's one thing you need to take note of. Another thing is, it doesn't swivel like a lot of your other monitors, so you can tilt it up and down. You can't swivel it or raise, okay? But like the F270i Pro, I think that's a very small sacrifice considering what you get, really considering the value of it all. Oh, and one more thing. So this monitor, all right, has FreeSync, which is also compatible with G-Sync. And yeah, it is not G-Sync compatible certified, but I've been playing it with different games and all that, and I really haven't had any issues. To me so far, it's been really good. Now, like the same thing like my other review of a Prism Plus monitor, things like FreeSync, HDR, they're all switched off by default out of the box, so do remember to switch all of that on, including in your NVIDIA control panel to enable G-Sync and also to enable HDR in Windows. Also check your refresh rate in Windows to make sure that it's up to the full 100 Hz. If you want to know how to do that, just go back to my previous video and I have it step-by-step guide on how to do all of that. Now, I did some searching online and, well, there are quite a lot of 21:9 aspect ratio monitors. The only one that I could find that came close to this is an Asus Rog monitor. And yeah, it's got a long string of letters and numbers, so I forgot what it was. But basically, yeah, it follows everything. Although to be fair, I think that one is like G-Sync compatible or G-Sync certified, whereas this one is AMD FreeSync with G-Sync compatibility. That one comes up at about 1,006 or 1,005, I believe, Singapore dollars. And at launch, it came out, I think, at almost $2,000. So that's a lot of money to throw into a gaming monitor when you could very much get a decent gaming rig for that price. So this one, the Prism Plus X340 Pro, this one actually costs about half of the Asus monitor. So this comes in at about $689, which is incredible. I mean, I honestly don't know how Prism Plus does this. I mean, they offer you these amazing monitors at these amazing specs and with an equally amazing price. I'm honestly really shocked. And it's not like, oh, I use it for a while and then it just falls apart. No, in terms of panels, it can actually be the same as some of its competitors. So, big question, should you get this monitor? Well, if you're someone that is extremely focused on refresh rates and response times, maybe you play Overwatch a lot or CSGO, and all these things are actually really important and you can really tell the difference, yeah, then maybe give this one a miss. However, like for me, if I don't play Overwatch or CSGO so much, I'm more about color reproduction, and I'm more about really immersive gaming experiences where you have this kind of ultra-wide, and trust me, it was extremely immersive when I played Battlefield 5 or what was the other one? Shadow the Tomb Raider. It was absolutely fantastic. And in those games, like a super high refresh rate and a super low response times, it's not really that much of a priority. So in that, if you're the kind of gamer like I am, and even if you're like a big media consumer, you like to watch a lot of movies, and yeah, some movies do have this aspect ratio, and you really like sitting down, having that immersive widescreen experience, then definitely this monitor, it is pretty much the best bang for buck ultra widescreen that you can get. So that about wraps up my review. Now, if you like this video, you know what to do. And I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get notifications on our next videos. I'm JP, and I'll see you real soon.